Connecting Arizona. 12 News starts now.
We are talking about real estate, but with a tax twist. Taxes are due, as you know, in less than 2 weeks. Oof. And if you bought a home last year, you might be looking at a deduction. Joining us now, of course, is our real estate expert, Holly Henbest. Always great to have you.
Thank you.
Okay, so where do we start with when it comes to real estate and taxes?
Well, what everybody typically relies on in January, they start to get those statements in the mail, and then they present those to their tax advisor when it's time to do their deductions. So the first thing I'm going to say is make sure you consult your tax advisor on the best deductions for you. But some things to keep in mind and ask your tax advisor about. If you bought a home last year or sold a home, make sure you pull out your closing statement, because the fees that you paid as associated with buying or selling your home, like if you're buying the points, some of your closing costs, any prepaid property taxes, those may not have appeared on your statement that came. They were in addition to that. So you just want to make sure that those statements are accurate with what was also on your closing statement. So pull that out if you bought a home last year, if you're a buyer or a seller. Also, if you sold a home last year and now you have to take a look at if you have tax ramifications due to a gain, keep in mind that your gain isn't based on what you bought the home for and sold it for. It's based on what you initially bought it for, plus additional improvements in a home, and then what you sold it for.
Okay.
So I brought a little show and tell today.
Yes.
Just wanted to give everybody something that's really simple to do to keep track of everything you do in terms of improving your home. I recommend everybody go get a binder like this, a thick one, and a bunch of those clear insert sheets. Put them in your binder. Every time you do an upgrade to the home, fix something, maintenance, whatever, take your receipt and stick it in there. Then everything's in chronological order, and you can keep track when you go to sell your home of what you spent, what you paid in upgrades. You can then present it to your tax advisor very simply to see what qualifies and what doesn't. Also, when you go to sell your home, your realtor will always ask you for a list of all the upgrades and improvements in the home. Now you've got a really nice handy binder. There's a lot of techie ways to keep track of it. I kind of like the old-fashioned way.
I'm old-fashioned too.
I get the receipt, I throw it in, I don't have to worry about scanning it, and it's all right there. So I highly recommend that. It's also really important if you own any rental properties to do the same thing, because you can deduct not only any improvements you made to the home, but any business expenses related to running the home. So if you had to pay a tax advisor to give you advice on the rental property, or you paid commissions to a realtor for the property, or any kind of
the lease agreement,
any kind of business expenses related to that rental property, it's excellent to keep track of that. Again, the binder is super handy so that you take the deductions for that as well. Oftentimes homeowners forget that they can deduct those business expenses in addition to improvements in the home.
Yeah, so important to keep the receipts, because a lot of times perhaps the renter will deduct it from the rent.
Yeah,
you want a receipt for that too.
Yeah, you definitely want a receipt for everything. So you want to keep track of those and make sure you get the credit for it when you go to sell the home.
Very quickly, what do we need to know about trusts?
Well, this is also a good idea, a good time of year to just evaluate your financial planning. So if you're meeting with your CPA, it might also be a good time to meet with a lawyer and plan your trust. If your home isn't currently in a trust, depending on your family situation, you might want to put your home in a trust. It's something, again, talk to your lawyer about. But if something were to happen to you and you do have a nice gain on the home, you want to make sure that doesn't get stuck in probate when it goes to your heirs, especially if your heirs are under the age of 18. They can't legally own property, so you want to make sure you're protected in that way as well.
Great info and great demo.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much. So simple, but crucial.
Yes, thank you.
Mark, over to you.